welcome to our podcast, Kwaun and Kam, Love in Real Time. This is a behind the scenes look at our relationship, the highs, the hurdles, and everything in between. Join us as we laugh, reflect, and get real about love, marriage, and building life together. From the silly moments to the serious talks, we're bringing you the unfiltered truth. I, in my mind, was wondering if God is love, then why is love in the flesh so hard for people to maintain?
Feel like love in the flesh is so hard for people to maintain is because when you fall out with people, they just stop loving you. I feel like if you know God is love and you loved us so much so that no mistake we make can turn away his love for us, then why do we do that to people?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of crazy how, like you said, God is love. And there are so many people in this world that say, oh, I love this person. But the question is, what is love if people are so easily falling out of it? And God is a perfect God. He is what he was the first day of the earth being created, now, forever, past, present. He is the same God. So for people to be losing love, the question is like, what is it? And why is it that people fall out of love if love is permanent and something that stays the same because God is love. So therefore it has to stay the same and it has to be the same all the time. So it just seems like it's impossible to fall out of love. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, I could tell somebody I love them all day long, but if that person doesn't feel that way, then that love that you say you have for that person doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. So what my question is to that is, does that mean that they were never in love if like you're not in love anymore?
I feel like at some point that person had some type of love for the other person. It just wasn't reciprocated in the same manner. It's just love, especially relationships. I feel like love is something that can be portrayed at any moment. Oh, I love you today, but tomorrow I might hate your guts.
But that's crazy because in the context of God being love, we're saying that God is permanent. God stays the same. So therefore love has to be permanent and stay the same. So if a person loves someone today and then hates them tomorrow, it's kind of like logical to say that they never loved that person. Because how do you fall out of love with someone like all of a sudden and then just be like, I don't love you, I hate you. Like things like I hate my mother versus I love my mother. But she raised me, she's had her faults and had her mistakes. There are things that I completely loved about her, and then there's things that I completely wish changed. But that fine line of, "Oh, I love my mom," versus, "Oh, I hate my mom," is like, could I ever say that I actually loved her if I could turn around and hate her the next day? Like, but most people have great relationships with their mothers. So it's like thinking in that sense and saying, "Hmm, did I ever love that person if I can hate them tomorrow?" Because most people don't hate their mothers. They could never say that they hated their mother, like, as an adult. Now, kids kids, they just use words and just be like, "Oh, I hate you," when you do things that they didn't like. But that doesn't mean doesn't mean, "Oh, I hate you now and forever." A lot of times it's just a word, which is why I feel like sometimes love is just used as a word, something to make someone else feel better or to make yourself feel better about it. Like, "Oh, I feel great right now about this person, so I must love them." But for me, I feel as though we as a society, and I can only speak about America because I don't know the rest of the world, but as a society, I feel as though love in this Western American society, we don't truly know what love is unless we know God. And we have to know God very deeply. We have to be in His Word, look in His Word, read his word, like, be it all in with God in order to know that love is not just something that you feel good about, because God will put you into some situations that you're just like, "Whoa, why am I in this situation? I thought he loved me." But love doesn't have to be a great feeling. It's not always a great feeling. Like couples, they have great feelings, and then sometimes together they have bad feelings where they're not all that into each other one day or maybe a week. But I mean, that's the same relationship that many of us have with God, which is okay. It's okay to be like, I don't feel great about you right now. He understands, but he loves you and he's going to continue to love you and put you through those situations so that you grow stronger. So he's not going to turn around one day and just be like, I love you. And now I hate you. No, he's not going to do that.
That's why we have to get back to the foundation of love. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. You can just fall out of love with somebody so quickly. But God gave us something out of love for us to lean on as the foundation of love. And why is it that us humans think that we can just turn off the switch of love whenever we feel like it?
Exactly. Like you cannot just turn on and off love. And that's why think that people are just using it as a word to describe a feeling of goodness. Like, how often do you hear someone say, I love you when they're hurting someone? I mean, we all got them beaten, and at the very end of the beating or before the beating, your mama said, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing this because I love you. And
Man,
there's a child you sit here thinking,
that ain't
what
no
the
love.
heck?
You
What the
just
heck? You hate me because why you beat
you
me?
just scarred me for life. And what type of
Exactly.
love is that?
Exactly. That's what I'm like. But looking back as an adult, it's the same thing that God be doing where he's like, I'm gonna put you through this, but to strengthen you. And a lot of times we got them beatings because we did something we weren't supposed to do. They wanted us to know that it was not okay and for us to be better next time so that we didn't do it again. Now, did we have enough talking about what we did wrong? Nah. I mean, I didn't. I didn't have my mom wasn't like, you did this, this, and this, and now you're gonna have a beating. Like, I mean, sometimes she did, but or maybe I just don't remember because I was getting my butt whooped and I just knew I was gonna get my butt whooped and I just didn't listen to her. But I do remember her saying, I'm not doing this because I wanna hurt you. I'm doing this because I love you and you gonna learn. No, that's not something as a child I'm thinking she loves me because she's beating me. No, but it was love. My mom didn't want me to do it again. And if I did do it again as an adult, certain things, if I did that as a child, okay, cool. Someone can correct me. The cops aren't probably going to be called or anything like that. It was probably me taking something from my sibling, yelling at them or something like that, or getting into it with teacher at school. But it wasn't, me harming someone physically or something like that. But yeah, she did say she loved me before that, and I was like, "No way. You don't love me?" I used to tell my mom things that I wish to this day I could take back because I was using hate as a word about how I felt at that moment. I've never hated my mother. Never, ever. But there are times where I would use the word hate to say, "I hate you because you whooped me. I hate you because you put me on punishment. I hate you because you're paying attention to my siblings more than you're paying attention to me." And no, I don't hate her. I never hated her, but of course, I'm sure she felt like, wow, my child just said they hate me. And it's a word. It's a word that has a lot of impact. And so is love. Love is a word that you use. And in the Bible, it's agape, which in that language, it means so much more than just love. To explain love in English, it dampens what agape is. So,
Yeah, that agape love is taught growing up. For agape love, it's just, a love that is never ending. A love that, will never waver.
yeah, looking up the word agape is unconditional and sacrificial love. That's what the Greek word agape means, and it's considered the highest form of love. It's describing God's profound fatherly love for humanity. He led his only son to the cross, and that was for us. Us as parents, we know, like, loving a child, even for a short period of time and in our hearts, I couldn't imagine being, like, voluntarily saying, "Here, take my child," and letting letting my child get beaten and slaughtered because of everyone else. Like, he didn't do anything. Why am I give my child up? He's innocent. He didn't do it. He didn't do anything. But for everyone else around me and everyone else to come, I'm gonna do this. I can't imagine anyone that would say, "My turn. I'm gonna do the same thing." So with God being love, that He extended His love to us in so many different ways throughout biblical references and literature. He is God and He is love. So when we loosely use the word love, just cause I love pink, I love this, we need to be cautious about us talking about what we love because love has a deeper meaning than what we sometimes use it.
'Cause even as like a kid growing up, "Oh, I love you." These little relationships, I call them Sour Patch relationships. 'Cause I feel like that's just play love, so and again, like I said earlier, definitely flip the switch for love as children. Little Tasha told me she loved me, now that's love of my life. As a kid, we had more passions because we thought we knew what love was. But as an adult, I still feel like some people still play with love because you can just feel when it's not genuine.
Yeah, very true.
Love definitely is a crazy thing. It can take you to crazy places. Some people love you and they'll turn around and beat you upside your head.
For no reason, and it be malicious too. Not just beat you like our mama beat you.
Yeah, we talked about the good love, but we gotta address the bad love too.
It's not even love. Like, that for sure is hate. Like, and I really feel like, like when people say, "Oh, there's a fine line between love and hate." I don't know if I would say there's a fine line, but there is that's hate and that's love, where people just don't use love the way that it should be, so they don't see hate the way that it is. Like beating somebody upside their head, that is hate. You cannot love a person that you willingly and maliciously harm just cut. And it don't matter if, oh, they hit my child. For the most part, you're going to hate a person that's just sat there and put their hands on your child and you maliciously beaten upside their head. That's not love.
At all.
Yeah. So I really think that people should really be second guessing themselves when they talk about love if it's not first and foremost thinking of it as God love. God is love. And the biblical definition of love always protects, is always truthful, always hopes, always perseveres. That's First Corinthians 13:7. Things like love your enemies, do good to them and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Luke 6:35. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. So, like that right there in First John 4:8 explains love right there. If you don't love, then you don't know God because He is love. So therefore, hating people just cause, that means you don't love them, which means you don't know God because God is love. It says it right there. So why do people divorce each other? Because they were never in love. Never. Or if we want to be gentler to the people, people get divorced because they did not know God. They didn't know God in His love. They did not have a relationship with God. They did not maintain a relationship with God because relationships require maintenance, daily maintenance, not just it's my car tune up every few months, every few miles. I'll work on it when I feel like it. Or when I got the money, I'll work on it. Or I'll work on it when the dash light comes on. We know Laquan he's the car person. He knows. Like when you run your car like that, tell him.
You can just forget about
Exactly. You can forget about the car because that car is not gonna last you as long. It's not going to treat you as well. You're not gonna have it as long. It's going to be a pain in your butt because you did not take it to get its oil changed before the oil was bad. You didn't go get your tires rotated. You didn't make sure that people popped open the hood to make sure everything was fine when there was nothing wrong with it. If you don't maintenance something when there's nothing wrong, then a lot of times it becomes a very big pain in your butt when something does go wrong. Because what? What happens when you don't get an oil change?
You gotta
Usually, isn't it like the oil change is for the engine? And if you don't get an oil change, your engine goes bad, right?
correct.
And the engine is the only thing that can run the car. So if your engine goes bad, your whole entire car is useless. You can't use your car as a car. You end up using it as storage if you keep it, and you just lost all that value. So the same thing goes for relationships. I feel like you should maintenance it like the car. I feel like people live a lot of times. They can identify love in the ways that don't make sense, like material things. They love money, they love cars, they love pornography, things like that where it's like you could do better and you should love things that are lasting, like your spirit that's around forever, eternally. Either you go to heaven or you go to hell.
Yeah, these new age relationships, especially these women, they make you feel like they love you enough, but then they say, "Well, go give me that Chanel bag. Let me get $500. Pay all my bills, and if you don't love them." Now they ready to trash.
Unfortunately, I mean, yeah. And then also with there being new gender roles and people being woke, a lot of times it can go the other way around too, where men have began to, do the same thing that traditionally women do, where if you don't give me this, then you don't love me. If you don't do this, then you don't love me. And a lot of times men use sex as the thing. Like if you don't do this to me with me, how often I want you to, then I'm gonna go do it with someone else because that means they love me. And that's not love. If anything, I call that adultery and prostitution. Like, no. And me personally, I've been there. Like, people made me believe that love was something that it was not. And I was looking for love, God, in all the wrong places, trying to fill a hole. And as I continued to dig the hole deeper, I found myself longing for him more, but I didn't know. I didn't know that that was what I was looking for. And I was doing the opposite of what he wanted me to do.
Yeah, and I can piggyback off that where you've been in something where you thought was love that wasn't. Where I was, led to believe that I was gonna be with this particular person. I was then blinded by love for what I thought love was and what I thought true love was, but it wasn't at all.
And y'all, he is not talking about me. This is somebody else. Don't think that we up here on this podcast talk about we don't love each other and we just realized that that's not the case. Don't sit there and turn it around on us. He loves me. We are truly in love because we know what love is. Now,
Emailed.
comment section, nothing. Don't tell your mama these people listen to this tea, listen to this drama and all that. No, we don't do that over here.
I just feel like love is just feel like love can be very misleading to a lot of people. Not even just a romantic relationship, like family members too. We at the family reunion and we just everybody just start fighting with one another. Not physically. You won't hear from that person no more. The next time you say, "Oh hey cuz, I love you," they be like, "Uh-huh, yeah, I love you too." And it'd be like, well dang. And it'd be your closest one of your closest family members too. And they just
When you say misleading, you mean like it can be complicated, it can be challenging
yeah,
to
like
maintain that love. And I really feel like that goes back to what we were saying was like God is love, but in the same token, he is greater than we. So therefore, his love seems complicated to us. I'm trying to think of a Bible story that I mean, a lot of Bible stories make it where it's like, okay, if you love these people, then what in the world? People's most known story is Jonah. He asked Jonah to do something. Jonah said no and ran the opposite direction of where he told him to go. So Jonah get his butt on a boat, go to sleep, sleeps through a storm, and then The people that were on the boat was like, "Okay, let's cast lots. It's him. Throw him off the boat." And God sends a big fish to swallow him. Now, I know as kids when we're learning this, it's like, "Hold up. God got people getting swallowed by a fish. What in the world? That does not make sense." And then all of us logically are like, how in the world did he live in the fish? Was he able to talk in the fish? Was he not submerged in water? Was he able to breathe underwater? And that's challenging to wrap your mind around because we're only given so many details and it makes it hard. The Bible in general makes it hard to be like, "Okay, that's what love is?" It's not straightforward. Love isn't straightforward because God's not straightforward. He gives you what you can grasp because He is much smarter than we are. It's the same as when we're talking to children. We're not gonna sit there and give them a whole paragraph and expect them to understand exactly what we just said to them. Just like we weren't read Jonah out of the NIV book. We also had visuals. We had simplified stories talking about Jonah and the whale. Even though when we read it later on, it does not say whale, it just says big fish. And our brains can only grasp the one fish that we know of that could be big enough to swallow a man and spit them back out, which would be a whale to us. But maybe it's a fish we never seen before or never discovered. God has control of every animal, every being, every insect, things we can see and can't see. So Jonah is one of those things where it's like it's challenging to grasp that that was love. But it wasn't just love for Jonah, but it was also love for the people of Nineveh. He didn't want to destroy the city. Like Jonah's like, just do to them what you did back in Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, just turn them bad boys to salt. They ain't doing anything that they supposed to be doing. Why are you gonna send me over there? Just kill them. That's literally Jonah was just like, forget it. Just kill them. I don't want to go to that city. They don't deserve anything. They don't deserve your mercy. They don't deserve your grace. Who are you to say where love can be spread? Who are you to say they don't deserve love? That's essentially what he was saying. They don't deserve love. They do awful things and they don't deserve it, which is challenging for us to wrap our heads around. Like you said with cousins, sometimes you might do something and all of a sudden no one's talking to you no more. But at the same token, deep down, there is still love. And if there isn't, that means that you never did love. And that means you never did know God. Or at that moment that you're not loving them, you don't know God. Or you don't know what God would do in that situation.
Another, I guess, story that I guess you can use Job as an example. Man basically lost everything. I mean, how could you feel like there was love in the midst of that at all? Going through some of the roughest times of your life, and you don't even feel like even your friends don't even seem to love you.
They were some bad friends too.
But again, that I guess that just shows you that God is love. Even when we don't feel like He loves us, He always shows us.
Yeah, I definitely can agree to that. And I can attest to it too. Where I mean, there are times where, like Job, you feel like you've lost every single thing, or you feel like you're lacking things. You're lacking things, and you're like, where is God? Why is He making me wait? Why is He not helping me right now? Right when I need it. Job lost his kids, every last one of them. On the same day, he lost all his property. He lost all his wealth. He was stolen from. Basically, he had himself, his wife, and 3 servants. And he had his health, but then Satan didn't like that. That he was still praying to God. He was still praying to God, so he went to God and said, "Your servant is still faithful to you, but surely if you take his health, then he'll hate you and he won't be so loyal to you then
Yeah, I just feel like to stay faithful. That's part of love. Even through that trying time, He still stayed faithful.
and loyal
That's
to
a
God."
that's a lot of love. Not
It
only not only did God probably love Job for that, but that shows you how much Job loved God as well.
He did correct Job because, his friends were leading him into beliefs that were not correct. And Job was contemplating believing them and, trying to plead his case. And he asked God, If you would just let me plead with you, the one who judges me, let me plead with this person, this being, so that I might make known my righteousness. Because all three of his friends were essentially saying that he had to have done something wrong, whether it was he had greed or he was too wealthy and turned his eyes blind to the poor, or his kids were doing things that they weren't supposed to do, and he was being blamed for it. Regardless, they tried to make him believe that he was doing something wrong, and God told him, like, "I don't remember seeing you when I created the earth, or when I made the ostrich a bad mother, or when I created the oceans and the animals within the depths of the sea that no one has ever seen. I don't remember seeing you." So we know that Job had to do something in his plight with his friends, which I personally don't think we're friends. How you gonna see me darn near naked on the side of the road somewhere with boils and I darn near look like I'm dying, and you come up in my face talking about, "Well, you must have did something wrong. That's why you sick." Like, I just lost my kids. I just lost all my money. My wife telling me to forget about God. And you got the nerve to come up to me and say, "Well, you did something wrong. If you just figure out what you did wrong, you won't look like that. You won't die." And it's like, to me, those aren't friends. But to each their own. So that just makes it no, even though they weren't friends, honestly, that or maybe they were friends. It does say friends in the Bible, but in this time and day, they would get canceled. We're just gonna go ahead and answer that question though. What is love?
This is love, not that we love God, He loved us and sent his son as an atoning sacrifice.
First John 4:10. I want to thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Definitely subscribe to our podcast, Kwaun and Kam, The Real Love Story, and we'll have more. We might even bring special guests, talk about different things, but we love you with the love of God.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.